Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Sean Anderson, Most Valuable Podcast. We're doing NBA draft grades, and I have the ugly stepsister of Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Clippers here. And let's go into their picks. They had the 25th overall pick in the first round, and they selected Bryce Johnson from North Carolina, and I gave this one a B+. You know, I'm high on Bryce Johnson because I think he has a decent mid-range game, and inside, he's going to be a great offensive rebounder. He's going to be a great rebounder in general, and I think he's very athletic, and that's going to work in with the Clippers. If Blake Griffin goes down again, God forbid, but you know, if Blake Griffin goes down again, that's going to be a great person to plug in, at least from an athletic standpoint. I'm not saying he's athletic as Blake Griffin, but at least you're not giving too much of a drop off because Bryce Johnson is very bouncy. He's very athletic. I think that fits in with the Clippers, and plus, I think he played 3 years or 4 years. I think he was a junior when he left North Carolina. You know, that adds in a guy who really doesn't have too much development, and this is going to go to a playoff team, and I think that Bryce Johnson can immediately produce for the Clippers off the bench. I think it was a very smart pick from Doc Rivers. And then we go into the second round where the picks kind of get hazy. You look at their 39th overall pick. They pick up David Michineu, a guard from France. And to be completely honest with you, he was not in my 60 pick mock draft. I did not scout this guy at all. I didn't know who the hell he was. So I look at this and I had to do research on him. I say it's a C, but I say that hesitantly because I wasn't too high on him. I didn't know too much about him. I think that this was kind of just a pick where you needed a point guard and you kind of threw a dart at the board. I don't know why you don't go Demetrius Jackson to back up to back up Chris Paul. I kind of see it from a drafting standpoint, but then again, you know the Clippers dealt with Chris Paul going down in the playoffs. I say you pick Demetrius Jackson, who went, I think, 6 picks later, and he can immediately contribute or at least be able to step in if Chris Paul goes down again. So I don't really understand the pick there. And then with the 40th pick, the pick right after, they go with Diamond Stone, the center from Maryland, who really fell off this whole draft, this whole draft season. I think he was a top 15 pick in my first mock draft, and now he's all the way down at 40. I think that he'll be able to work with Doc Rivers, but then again, I don't know how well his motor will work. He might be able to stretch it out to the three-point range. There's a lot of question marks about Diamond Stone. Maybe going to the Clippers will be very healthy for him, but we'll definitely have to see what he can do. I'm going to give the Clippers a C in total because you didn't address your small forward position. I'm not too sold on Jeff Green being your your future small forward starter. There's a guy like Ben Bento out there. I know you just picked up a power forward, but people are saying that he can play the 3 because he is undersized. I think you could have gotten more there. I think you should have added more shooting there. I think this is a Clippers team that should go more shooting orientated, and they really didn't do that with any of these picks. So I think the Clippers could have done more. I like the Bryce Johnson pick. I think Diamond Stone could be kind of a diamond in the rough. I like that pun there. And Michineu came out of nowhere. So I'm giving them a C because there's a lot of question marks in that second half. I do like the Bryce Johnson pick, though. Thank you so much for watching these draft grades. If you do not want to miss any of the other teams, check out the playlist down below or just subscribe to our channel because we'll be putting them out every single chance we get. Ricky's just going to be a machine uploading them every single quick. He's got quick hands. He's editing them down. He's uploading them. So if you don't want to miss them, check out the link in the description or check out our page, Most Valuable Podcast. If you don't want to miss any of our post-draft coverage, free agency coverage, subscribe to our channel. And if you like these draft grades, if you like the grade I gave to your team, like this video. And if you didn't like this grade, tell us in the comments why it should be higher, why it should be lower. What did your team do right? What did your team do wrong? But that's going to wrap up this video. If you do want to follow us on different places, you can find us on Twitter at Most Valuable Pod. You can find me on Twitter at Schwarbo. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Snapchat. You even find us at patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. If you donate at least $1, you do get a monthly exclusive podcast, and it's people from the MVP Network. The one for July is me, Mike, and Brandon, and it's a pretty fun one. Mike had some pretty good stories, so if you do not want to miss out on that, go to patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. It's going to wrap up this draft grade video, and I will see you next time.